Number 7. An insurance company advertises that it takes an average of less than 21 days to process an auto accident claim. To check the truth of this claim, a group of investigators randomly selected 35 claims. They found that it took the company an average of 19 days to process these claims, with a standard deviation of 8 days. Test the insurance company's claim using a 5% level of significance. So here we're doing a hypothesis test, and the first thing that we need to do is decide on what our null and alternative hypotheses are. So the claim here is that it takes less than 21 days to process the auto accident claim. So that's going to be mu is less than 21. So this claim, since it doesn't have a statement of equality, is going to go under the alternative. So I'm going to put it here and mark that that was my claim. And then the null is always going to contain an equals. So let me put that up there. Now, of course, when you're going to do your test online, you'll need to just put an M instead of the mu symbol, because they won't be able to find that on your keyboard, probably. All right, so that's the hypothesis. Next thing up is a p-value. The p-value we get from the calculator under the stat menu and tests. Now, we need to choose basically the 3 tests that we've done. T-test, 1 prop z-test, the 2 sample tests as well. Now, to decide here, I'm testing a mean, so that rules out the proportions test altogether. We're doing a t-test then, and it comes down to, am I working on 2 samples or just 1 sample? Well, in fact, it's just 1 sample. I have 1 sample of 35 claims, and I'm not comparing that to a different sample, so the t-test is what I'm using. I'm provided with statistics to work with, so I'm just going to input those. Mu naught is the mean from the hypothesis, so 21. X bar is the mean from the sample, so there was an average of 19 days. Standard deviation was 8 days, and the sample size was 35. Now, the symbol in my alternative hypothesis is less than, so I'm going to click on less than mu naught and calculate the p-value. So over here, my p-value is 0.0742. And of course, it's a probability, so round it to 4 decimal places. And that's all I need from the t-test. And the next thing that I'm going to do is interpret that thing. So I'm going to take my p-value, which I will write as 7.42%. And then I'm going to take my alpha level, which is 5%, and compare those. So 7.42 is greater than 5%. And since that's greater than, my decision here is to fail to reject the null hypothesis. So remember the rule here. If p is low, the null must go. So if the p-value is less than alpha, then we reject the null hypothesis. But since here the p-value is greater than alpha, we fail to reject. So we just need to fill in our sentence here. So there, in this case, is not. And the reason I'm going to put is not is because I have my decision at fail to reject the null hypothesis. If the decision was to reject the null hypothesis, I would put is. And then over here, I'm going to put in that I'm trying to support the claim. The reason I know I'm trying to support it is because my original claim was in the alternative hypothesis. If my original claim was in the null, I'd be trying to reject it. So there is not enough evidence to support the claim that it takes an average of less than 21 days to process an auto